Alright, let's talk about something truly thrilling. Taxes. Yes, I can feel your excitement from here. Specifically, we're diving into two main types today. First up is income tax, the old classic. This is the money the government nabs from your earnings. Think of your salary, your wages, your freelance gigs. You make it, they take a slice. Simple, right? Mostly, it's how we pay for, civilization. Supposedly. Then there's the other one, wealth tax. This is a bit more spicy, shall we say. It's not about what you earn each month, it's about what you own in total. Things like your house, your fancy art collection, or that mountain of stocks you inherited from Scrooge McDuck. This tax targets the big pile of assets, not just the flow of new money coming in. The difference is quite important, you see. Income tax is like taxing the river flowing by. Water or money moves, government takes a bucketful. Wealth tax is like taxing the entire lake, even if no water is flowing out of it right now. It's about the sheer volume of stuff you've accumulated. One's about your hustle, the other about your hoard. So why are we even discussing this thrilling topic? Well, there's this tiny issue of wealth inequality. You might have heard of it, it's quite the popular disaster. The gap between the super rich and everyone else is widening. It's becoming less of a gap, more of a chasm. A chasm filled with angry people and possibly pitchforks. So, people are asking if taxing wealth could help. It's a fair question, isn't it? Let's find out. Now, why do we even have income tax? Besides the government's insatiable need for cash, well, the main idea is that it's somewhat fair. You earn more money, you can afford to pay more tax. It's linked to your ability to actually pay the darn thing. This money then funds public services we all use, things like schools, hospitals, roads, and those fascinating council meetings. Most of us grumble, but accept it's part of the deal. But some people, quite reasonably, look around and say, hold on! They see mega fortunes just sitting there, growing bigger, like a particularly aggressive sourdough starter, but for billionaires. These fortunes might not generate much income in the traditional sense. A billionaire might pay themselves a tiny salary, very modest, but their wealth, their stocks, their property, balloons in value. Income tax often misses this enormous growth until assets are sold. A wealth tax, supporters argue, would capture some of that. Think about it this way, a person works hard. They earn a salary and pay income tax on it. Fair enough. Then you have someone else, let's call him Baron von Moneybags. He owns a vast empire of, let's say, luxury pigeon coops. These coops become incredibly valuable, but he sells none. His wealth skyrockets, but his taxable income might be small. Income tax barely touches his growing mountain of pigeon-related riches. A wealth tax would say, nice coops, Baron, time to contribute. So, the debate boils down to this fundamental difference. Are we taxing the money you make from your job, or are we taxing the sheer amount of valuable stuff you possess? One is about the fruit you pick from the tree each year. The other is about taxing the size of the entire orchard. People who support wealth taxes say the orchard owners aren't paying enough. They argue that vast, accumulated wealth should also contribute, especially when it just sits there, getting more valuable. Let's get specific. Imagine you have a job. You work at, a regional paper company, perhaps in Scranton, Pennsylvania. You get a paycheck. Before that money even hits your bank account, whoosh, a chunk is gone. That's income tax right there. It's for your earnings, for the work you did selling paper, or if you're a beet farmer, for the beets you sold. It's a direct tax on the money flowing into your pocket. Now let's consider wealth. Picture someone incredibly rich. They own a portfolio of stocks worth, say, $100 million. Or maybe they own a massive, sprawling estate in the Hamptons. This estate isn't earning them a salary each week. The stocks might pay some dividends, which are taxed as income, but the sheer value of that $100 million in stocks, or the $20 million house, that's wealth. It's not income until they sell it usually. So the arguments for a wealth tax often start here. Proponents say it's about fairness and reducing extreme inequality. If a tiny percentage of people own most of the stuff, maybe they should contribute a bit more based on that ownership. That money could then fund essential public services for everyone. Or, it could help lower taxes for people with less wealth. The idea is to rebalance the scales a little, stop the rich from just sitting on ever-growing piles of gold. But, and it's a big but, there are arguments against. How exactly do you value all these assets every year? A house is one thing, but what about rare art? Or complex investments? It could be an administrative nightmare, a bureaucratic swamp. And what if asset values fall? Do you get a tax refund? Plus, rich people are quite good at moving their money. They might just shift their assets to countries without a wealth tax. This is called capital flight, and it's a genuine concern. So there we have it, the thrilling saga of taxes. Income tax, the familiar friend or foe that visits your paycheck. And wealth tax, the controversial idea of taxing what you own. It's a debate with passionate arguments on both sides, mostly because it involves money and lots of it. And when large sums of money are involved, people get animated. It's a fundamental discussion about what a fair society looks like and how we pay for the things that make it work. The central question really is about fairness and practicality. Is it fair that vast fortunes can grow largely untaxed, while ordinary working people pay income tax on every dollar they earn? Many would say no, that's not particularly fair at all. But then, is a wealth tax practical to implement? Can it be designed without causing more problems than it solves? These are the tough questions governments wrestle with, or more often, avoid wrestling with if we're honest. Now for my incredibly nuanced and deeply insightful opinion. Look, a straightforward annual wealth tax, as often proposed, it's tricky. The valuation problems are genuinely enormous. Imagine valuing every yacht. The risk of capital flight is not just a scare tactic, and the potential for endless legal challenges? Oh boy, it could be a spectacular mess, an accountant's unholy holiday. But, and this is crucial, the status quo isn't great either. Letting wealth concentrate endlessly at the top is also a problem. So, while a pure, simple wealth tax might be a logistical nightmare, the principle behind it, that extreme wealth should contribute more, is sound. Perhaps the answer lies in smarter income taxes on capital gains, or more robust inheritance taxes so fortunes don't just cascade, or closing the loopholes that let billionaires pay less tax than their secretaries. Something has to change, because the current system often feels rigged, and frankly, a society where only working income is effectively taxed, while massive fortunes just inflate? That's not just unfair, it's a recipe for some serious trouble.